Hey everybody, Scott here, Costin Bromstar. We're here with Owen Neal and with Howler Mouse, also known as Tim. And we're going to be chatting about creature features today. And join us and listen in while we have some amazing creature-licious fun. Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
They're doing pretty good. Yep. Ready to talk about some monsters.
Yeah. Any of you want to kick it off, or should I start ripping apart some movies right off the bat?
Go for it. Rip them away.
So, I watched a movie called Bigfoot on Sci-Fi. Either one of you seen it?
No.
No.
Fucking garbage.
What constituted garbage about it?
Everything. But let's just hit with who's in it.
All right.
Danny Bonaducci.
Oh my. Now, did he play the Bigfoot?
No, he was one of the main guys in it.
Oh,
And Barry Williams.
oh wow.
Barry Williams? I haven't heard that name in forever. I didn't know he was still alive.
So they're the two mains, besides, I guess, the Bigfoot. The whole setup was the Dooch was a radio host, and he was getting ready for a big 80s throwback concert. Barry was a hippie, I guess I'll call him. Anti-concert because they were tearing down the field, and blah, blah, blah.
Environmentalist. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
They never hit on it, but I really felt like he was more of a cult leader because it was him, all old, and then just like a flock of really hot young girls.
Oh yeah. I could see how that'd be a cult.
And they'd do whatever he said. They're like, oh yes, let's do it. So that's kind of the setup. So they eventually struck a deal where, I guess they were both rockers back in the day. I guess that was the idea. So he struck a deal with Barry where he could be in the concert, and afterwards they'd plant the field with trees in his name. And of course he just did that to shut him up. And pretty much kicked him off stage and brought out Alice Cooper. The Alice Cooper. And they couldn't even afford the rights for Alice Cooper's music. It was like generic rock playing behind him, and he was just kind of dancing like, come on! And then the Bigfoot killed him.
Oh man.
So Bigfoot was a killer. Was this like a Rob Zombie wannabe movie or something? Or
Apparently the noise of the rock concert made Bigfoot come out.
okay, well, here's how I would have improved the movie. Okay, if they are a cult, I would have had them driving around in the Partridge Family bus, and Danny Bonaducci would have showed up with a couple of the Partridge Family, but they'd be, a different name, So.
Well, he wasn't the hippie guy. That was the other one.
I'm looking at a picture of the Bigfoot from that movie. It just looks like a normal Bigfoot until you get to the face, and it looks like some kind of a frickin' like demonic Bigfoot, man. Like it's just. I had an uncle once, and the face looks a lot like that guy.
I didn't even hit on the fact that it's 2 stories tall.
He's 2 stories tall?
So, like, were they wanting to... It sounds like they were, like, tapping a Godzilla movie or something. I don't know.
At one point, it looked more like King Kong. It was beating its chest.
Holy crap, man. That's,
It was, the CGI was so bad. It was, oh my god. And he had, like, 2 moves. He would pick them up, break their back, snap their, and bite their head off. Or he would just step on them. That was were his 2 kill moves.
Oh, no, I was going to make a Brady joke. I don't want anybody... Barry Williams was Greg Brady, for you guys that don't know that. So,
As bad as that movie sounds, I kind of want to watch it now just because he's 2 stories. I just want to see how that works.
So, it seemed as it went on, the CGI got worse and worse. Like, I think they just started running out of money. And the ending... I want to spoil it. The ending. They end up on Mount Rushmore.
Nice.
Barry, or Mr. Brady, if you will. I think he was one of the kids. He comes flying in on this machine and lands up there. He's trying to save the Bigfoot, obviously. He's trying to trank it and save it. And, the dude shows up with a freaking machine gun shooting at it. So they start fighting on top of one of the faces, which, by the way, the faces keep changing sizes.
Nice.
Like, at one point, it's way too small when they're on top of it, because you can see almost like the whole face, and they're both on it. At the same time, people are shooting at the Bigfoot. A chopper comes in, a news chopper. It grabs the tail of it, swings all the way around it, lands back on the face of Washington, and the chopper crashes, which makes no sense. Because how big he was, he would have took the chopper down. And that looks awful. And then the military comes in and shoots the Bigfoot and them with a rocket, and they die. Before that happens, the douche is hanging off the side, and Barry's trying to pull him up, because he pushed him off, but apparently he didn't want to kill him. So he's pulling him up, and he reaches his hand up for the Bigfoot, and it looks like the Bigfoot's going to give him his hand to help him pull him up. And then they all die, and then it shows like a monument they made for him. And they couldn't even afford apparently to make a prop monument. It's like they took a picture of him and then kind of like made it look shiny, and it was supposed to be a monument. It was like CGI. It was awful.
God, man, that just sounds amazing. Like,
I've looked this movie up. I found the movie poster. He looks more like Bigfoot looks more like Mothman standing on top of the Mount Rushmore with 3 choppers above him. And the people that are in this is like a 70s love fest, man. Danny Bonaducci, Barry Williams, Howard Hessman, Dr. Johnny Fever.
Oh, nice.
It says it's got Billy Idol and Alice Cooper in it.
I didn't see Billy Idol. That's why I did not see Billy Idol.
See what it says? It says 80s rocker Billy Idol. I mean, I don't know, man.
I know I saw that
maybe,
too.
Maybe he plays the Bigfoot.
That would explain so much. He's dancing with himself, and they broke up his party. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. Yeah. This Dr. Johnny Fever. That's just cracking me up.
Cheryl Finn is in it too. I'm not sure. Her name was on the poster, but I don't remember her name.
She was in Twin Peaks. Yeah. I remember her. Yeah. All right, there it is. It says Sherilyn Finn from Twin Peaks. All right. I can't believe this. That's just a bizarre little movie.
Wow.
It's kind of what they're doing lately. Is they're doing monster movies and digging up aging child stars.
Yeah.
Which is another one we can talk about later. It involves spiders that shoot fire.
I tell you, yeah, I just don't understand it. I don't know. It's just, it's like they set out to make the movies bad. I don't know, man. I mean, they got all this money, obviously, to pay these people. You cannot come up with a better script. I mean, when they're making these movies, what is going through their heads? Seriously, they make them bad on purpose, or I don't understand.
There's one line in the movie that I laughed at pretty hard. It was Barry was saying the girl was Finn was shooting at the Bigfoot with a pistol, and he says your bullets can't penetrate its hide, and then he proceeds to try to trank it with a trank gun. I'm like, if a bullet cannot penetrate its skin, how is that flimsy needle on a trank gun gonna go through its skin?
No doubt. Oh man.
See, I would shoot it in the mouth. That would make sense. Make them swallow the trank.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so simple. Poke it in the eye.
Yeah. Shoot him in the eye.
He watched it kill everyone in his. I don't think they're a cult, but I'm just gonna call him his flock, anyways. It killed every single one of them, and then he was still like, "We gotta save it." I mean, I guess that is a true environmentalist.
I would say kill it and just do an autopsy, do reverse engineering, find out everything you need from the dead animal. It's better that way. I mean, I'd have no problems killing a Bigfoot,
And then you can make it 10 times more deadlier than the original one.
Yeah.
It was obvious they were trying to be tongue-in-cheek. I mean, I think they realized that their movies suck. So now they're like, hey, we're trying to make them that way. But when their movies they're trying to be good and they suck, they're hilarious and I enjoy them. But when they're trying to make them be bad, it just ends up bad.
Yeah, it's called irony. You know what I mean? It's irony. Troll 2 was irony. That's why everybody loves it. They weren't trying to be bad. I don't know. Bigfoot. I'm going to check the movie out just because you talked about it, Owen. So,
Let's move on to the other Bigfoot movie, which is probably a little harder to find. It's so cheesy that I think everyone will love it. If you haven't seen it, Night of the Demon. Now, don't be confused with Night of the Demons. This is Night of the Demon. It's from 1980. I actually had to download it because I could not find a video release of it. But it's a Bigfoot. Most of the kills you see are in like a flashback. These people go out in the woods because there's supposedly Bigfoot attacks. And then, like, every turn they get, the guy, like, their teacher, I think he's a teacher at a college, he tells them the story of whatever happened, and there's a flashback of them being killed by the Bigfoot. And there's this one douchebag, it's like, yeah, right. And I'm like, why are you there if you don't believe in it?
oh,
He's like the first one, and he's the first guy in the group that gets killed by it.
is this like an 80s movie?
Yeah, 1980.
I saw it.
Awesome.
I've seen it. It was bad, dude. Bigfoot had he had a brown afro, like, and I remember there was some dude in a biker jacket that had like a bad mustache. You know, it was like I'm a redheaded version of Magnum PI. So yeah.
You remember what happened to the guy on the bike?
Dude, I was like 8 years old when I saw this movie.
He got his dick ripped off.
Oh, maybe I blocked it out. So
he's taking a piss in a bush, and Bigfoot's hand just comes out like blah, and he walks back to his motorcycle and falls over.
Yeah, I know. When I saw this movie, they followed up with a movie called Yeti. There was a theme that night. So yeah,
it was bad, but I thought it was awesome. So as the story goes on, you see more kills and blah blah blah, and they meet this girl that's crazy, and they break into a room in her house when she's sitting there, and then she starts talking and telling a story about how a Bigfoot raped her, and she had a baby, and her dad killed the baby. He kept quoting stuff from the Bible, so he kills the baby, and then she kills him, and Bigfoot still keeps like bringing her what she calls gifts from him, and they're just like trinkets of the people he's killed. Like, here's somebody's glasses. There's a really confusing part though, is they don't really believe her. They know there's something there, but they don't really believe that she had a Bigfoot baby. So they dig up the grave where her child was buried, and then they're like, oh my god. And of course, when we're watching it, it looks like a cow skull. It looks like a cow skull in a box. So we're thinking, you know, alright, is this a Bigfoot? Did she not have a Bigfoot baby? And then they're like, it's true, she had the baby. I'm like, that was a cow skull. It's like, apparently Bigfoot babies' skeletons are cow skulls. So remember that. If you ever find a cow skull in the woods, it's a Bigfoot baby.
So basically, what we've determined is Bigfoots are not like from gorillas. They're from like this chain of evolutionary cow that was able to stand up straight and walk. So it's all coming together. It makes perfect sense. So,
it was ridiculous, but usually, you know, even, you know, fake rape it's not funny. You know, you don't laugh at rape scenes, but I could not laugh at this rape scene.
Yeah, Tosh Show laughs at it though, but I mean, you know.
Yeah. That man, that is a bad man.
The noises it was making.
Think about that, man. You're born on this earth, you know, there's 4 billion people, and you get to be the one that gets raped by a Bigfoot. You know, I'd be like, why me? You know.
Yeah, that's worse than getting your dick torn off by a Bigfoot, I guess. I mean, geez.
Yeah, I got to think about that. What a choice, you know.
Yeah, well, you'd almost rather have your neck snapped in half, wouldn't you?
Well, you know, with one, you'll get pity. You know what I mean? And the other one, they'll just look at you like you're dirty for the rest of your life. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. What else you got, Owen?
I want to talk about crocs. Crocodiles.
That's another genre of movie I don't think I've ever seen, like a giant crocodile movie.
You've never seen Blood Surf?
No, I've never heard of it.
Come on.
I've seen, what was it, Lake Placid. I got a kick out of that because Betty White was the one feeding the giant crocodile.
It's true, but have you seen Lake Placid 2 and 3?
I saw part 2, but you can go ahead and remind me. Once you get going, it'll all come back. That's how I work. That's how I roll. So
Well, Lake Placid's probably the more popular one. It wasn't bad. It actually had stars in it. Let's see, had Bill Pullman and Bridget Fonda and a bunch of people like that. It wasn't bad. It was pretty decent CGI.
Yeah, it was the first time I saw Betty White curse, and I was just sort of like, I liked it, but I felt so wrong. I'm like, so. Oh, Betty,
There's a whole nother side to Betty people don't know.
And the sequel was pretty bad, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. And that actually has John Schneider. Remember, Duke Boy.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
And that one was like, you always knew. They actually had a giant, like, rubber one, but you would always know when it was going to attack because it would turn to CGI.
They had one movie I was dying to go see. They said, you'll see the serial killer from Africa or something like that. It's got the biggest body count of any serial killer. It was a true story. And then you find out it's like a giant crocodile in the Nile or something.
Yep. That's primeval.
Yeah, and I think crocodiles and alligators are ambush creatures. They'll just pop out of the water, and it takes a lot of energy. This one had it chasing down a freaking Jeep or something, if I'm thinking of the same movie. Yeah, a gigantic crocodile chasing down a Jeep out in the, Serengeti. I'm like, oh my God, they tricked me. There's no serial killer.
Although they did what they do in a lot of these type of movies where, like, obviously there's the giant killer croc, Gustav, I think they call him. But then there's also a guy calling himself Gustav, who was like an army leader that was killing people. So it was kind of be like, who's more evil, the humans? And then at the end, I think that one gets eaten by the Croc. That one had horrible CGI in it.
Yeah, I'd like to see him fight like a giant killer hippo versus Croc. Now that's a movie. So
the only killer hippo movie I can remember is there was a scene in Congo.
Congo was a great movie because Tim Curry was in it.
Yes. I enjoyed Congo. Yeah. Yep. Gorillas with lasers, man. That is awesome.
I read that book actually before that movie was even thought of, and like the book's pretty old. I think it's late 70s. I read it and it was so amazing, and then I remember when the movie came out, I was so eager to see it, and it was like nowhere near as good as the book. But Tim Curry clinched it, man. It was like anything he's in is gold.
Yeah.
Not Bruce Campbell.
Who?
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell? Ash?
He was in it.
Was he in that? I don't remember him in that. I only remember Tim.
So, Lake Placid 3 came out, and it was awful. It was worse shit that came out. Made by Sci-Fi. I think the other one was made by Sci-Fi, too. This one had Colin Ferguson in it. He was a Sci-Fi star.
Now, I know I didn't see Lake Placid 3 because number 2 did me in. I mean, it really did. I mean, it wasn't even that so bad it's good kind of deal. It was just bad. Yeah. So.
It also had Michael Ironside in this one as a sheriff. They always started to start out the same. They're like, things are being killed. And they're like, is it a bear? And then no one seems to want to. It's always in like the same town too, and no one ever says, "Hey, there used to be crocodiles killing people here. It could be that." Like, no, that's crazy. So apparently, they're also going to make another one with Robert Englund in it.
They're going to make another Lake Placid. That's what you said.
Yep, the final chapter.
Oh man. Did Ironside live through part 3?
No.
Figures. Michael Ironside's one of those guys that nobody knows who he is until they see a picture of him because he's been in everything. Scanners and I think he was in Terminator.
Yeah, old Scarface, eh?
Yeah. So
Scanners was. I think that's probably the first thing I seen him in was Scanners.
Yeah, it's been so long since I saw Scanners. I mean, that's good. I like Scanners, but when I went back to rewatch it a couple years ago, I couldn't stand the 80s keyboard soundtrack, if I'm remembering right. So
yeah,
Yeah. I've got a franchise. I don't know, I guess it'll kind of fall in this cause basically the movies got worse and worse and worse to where they meet up with Lake Placid and it should be up Owen's, I think it'll be up Owen's alley there. The Tremors franchise. Remember those? Tremors?
I love Tremors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that last couple of weeks ago, weren't we?
I fell in love with the first movie when Kevin Bacon and the other dude were getting chased by it, and they jumped over like a drain in the middle of the desert. It was made out of concrete, and the worm or whatever you call it, busted its head. They look at each other and they're like, "We killed it! We killed it!" They were taking credit. We killed it. So, but those movies got worse and worse and worse. I was like, "Oh my god!" But I kept watching. They kept bringing back Michael Gross or whatever his name was from Family Ties, and
that was like the first thing I seen him in, other than Family Ties, I think.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the sequel. They had the little robot cars with the dynamite on them.
Yeah, it made it so simple. Like, why didn't we think of this before? He just little remote control.
In every movie, they evolve. Like they were running around in the second one.
The graboids.
Yeah, then they came like heat seekers or whatever. Ass blasters.
Did they ever explain if they were like aliens or something? I always just assumed they were aliens. They try to make you think they were like prehistoric or something, but I just assumed they were aliens.
No, I think the third one was like a prequel and it was back in the Western times.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, yeah.
Oddly enough, I own like all of them, but I still haven't watched the fourth one yet. And they had a TV series too. You
know what? I found it, man. I found it at a little place about an hour away from here. I didn't get it, but it's sitting on the shelf. Nobody's touched it. The guy said for like quite a while.
I think I saw a trailer for it, and it's like so cheaply made. It's like Michael Gross and 4 other actors, and that's all they have. So. We can afford 5 actors. I think that's all they had in it. So, yeah. Oh, somebody's pocketing some money on those. Yeah. Here's your budget, and here's what I'm putting in my pocket. So,
yeah.
Now I'll tell you what. When I think of creature feature, I mean, not to get off track here. Pull me in whenever you want here. But did you guys have those TV shows when you were kids where like they'd show like the bad old monster movies like at midnight, and they always had like a host, like a horror host, like kind of like a cheap version of Elvira's TV show and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, they always show like the old Hammer movies and stuff, or the real creepy stuff that like which were like bad movies, but when you put them up beside of like Bigfoot and Tremors are like classics. So okay.
Yeah, we used to have, there was 2 local television stations, one in Hamilton here, and the other one was, I think, in Pennsylvania. They would always show these old 70s European horror movies, and they were friggin', I mean, a lot of them didn't have monsters in them. Sometimes they would have something kind of like a monster in it, but mostly it was like friggin' like serial killer slasher movies or something. And like the European 70s movies were horrendous. They were so violent and brutal. They weren't anything like what we had over here. And I remember just being like just screwed, man. I'd watch that at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning because my folks are crashed out, and I'm like 12.
Yeah.
And I was euchred like for the next week, and then I'd stay up and watch another one. So,
yeah, that was me, man. Staying up on that Saturday night to watch this crap. We had Cosby Show and Family Ties, and I'm like, this is the stuff. But I think it was, I don't know if it was the Spanish or the Italian zombie movies they used to show.
Oh.
They would gross me out, and I found out they were taking oatmeal and just smearing it on their face, and that's what made them look so gross,
Yeah.
And I'd be freaked out. Couldn't go to sleep till about 4 or 5 in the morning. I'd be like worthless for the rest of the weekend. And then I would do it again. And it'd be gross little Hammer movies and stuff like Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde and stuff.
I saw that Maniac with,
Joe.
Yeah,
Spinelli,
Spinelli, whatever. So I saw that one night, and I was pretty sure I'd never sleep again. That lasted, like in all seriousness, that lasted maybe 5 years of my youth, where those images were so burned into me that I was just totally screwed. I don't know. Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah, I own it. They're remaking it.
I mean, it's horrible. Like, it's a horrendous movie. It's definitely not something that a 12-year-old kid should friggin' watch. Well, nobody should watch the damn thing. It's that bad. But, you know, I mean, he cuts people's scalps off and stuff. And, oh, my God, it's just horrible.
I worked in a video store back in 91. For the last 6 months it was open. So where the boss didn't care, we'd watch all these movies. We made it 15 minutes into that movie. Every time that Maniac movie was brought back in VHS, nobody would rewind it and nobody watched the whole movie. And, yeah, I mean, I lasted 15 minutes while I was working trying to watch that movie. I remember what you were saying. But then what got me is there's this comic book that came out called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac that was like real cartoony.
Right, I remember that.
And and for some reason I had flashbacks to Maniac just looking at that kid, and I have no idea why. You know, I mean, you know, like I saw the comic, and I was like,
yeah, no. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Whipping out the Maniac. God.
Yeah. That's horrible. Horrible.
You guys are crazy. That movie's great. It's not as good as Maniac Cop or Maniac Cop 2 or Maniac Cop 3, but
I saw the first one of those, and that was just like the most ridiculous thing, man.
Love it. Embrace the ridiculousness. She's an undead cop.
Yeah.
All right. If you're going to whip those out, I got some. Did you ever see any of the Faces of Death that came out in the 80s?
Yes.
They found out most of those were, you know, staged and stuff. But what amazed me is I don't know how many they came out with, man. It seemed like they had another one every month coming out. And Faces of Death was supposed to have been like TV clips and, real deaths in the real world, like, people had caught on film. But all anybody talked about was the time that they killed the monkey on there. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, they went to some country, and it was real shady, and this was real. I mean, they showed the whole thing, and it was bad, but it just killed me that all these people were getting killed and all these scenes and stuff, supposedly in real life, and everybody got mad about the monkey. They took a little chimp. I mean, it was bad. It was like a little spider monkey or something, and they set it in a table, and then they closed. It was in the middle of a table, and it had a hole just so its head would be at the table, right? And its body's in a cage underneath it. And it could spin around in a circle, looking around, and everybody that was going to eat the monkey's brains had to take a turn hitting the monkey on top of the head until it was dead.
Oh, jeez.
And then somebody would come by and saw off the skull, and they would eat cold monkey brains, which goes back to another Tim Curry movie, Clue. But anyway,
yeah. Wow, that sounds a lot like Walking Dead number 100.
Lucille is here. Lucille. Yeah.
Oh my God! Just quickly let me say that when I got home last night, I read Walking Dead 100, and when I finished, I had to go and sit outside for 10 minutes. It's been at least a year or a year and a half since I've read anything that disturbed me that much. That bothered me to no end.
That may be the only book I'm going to tell people don't eat before you read it. So.
Yeah. But it was just, who it was that they killed. It really affected me. Like, I was upset. I just went and sat outside. Sherry's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just need a minute." She's like, "What the hell did you read?" I'm like, "Nah, I just need a minute to sit here."
You're going to wear a black armband around, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was bad. I couldn't believe, yeah. That could segue into like some zombie movies. Because that Walking Dead, I'm going to get real sad here in a minute. So,
no, I'm going to reel you back to the crocodiles. I was not done.
Right, Croc.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned it earlier. Blood Surf.
Blood Surf. How could that not be a crocodile movie?
Well, it actually starts out different, where it's these normal surfing videos aren't popular anymore. So now what they do is they cut themselves and surf in shark-infested waters.
Oh
Blood
my
surfing.
God, man.
But there's something else lurking under the water. It's a 30-foot saltwater crocodile. Just go look at the poster, you'll know.
I'm looking at the pictures right now. Oh my
Now, none of the poster doesn't happen, so don't expect that. But eventually some bad people actually come and kidnap them, of course. You have to have something worse than what's after them already. But what was great about this one was they actually had, like, props. So they tried to get it to go in fresh water. I guess it would kill him. I don't get that, but he just stops and just stares at him, and it's like this giant, like, rubber puppet, and it's pretty hilarious. They're like, he's too smart. They eventually get him to run off a cliff, and he gets stabbed on some spikes.
I was gonna say they got the crocodile to run off a cliff.
It was chasing him, and they, like, swung on a rope or a vine or something.
Yeah, see, this is what I was going to ask you. Is this the movie where they had 2 or 3 girls in it, like, went topless through the whole movie, and they used them as bait to get the crocodile to chase them before it went over the cliff?
I don't remember if they went topless a lot. But
They must have
there
been,
was
because
some
all
girls
the
in
pictures I've seen of them, none of them have shirts on.
I think I saw this freaking movie at a friend's house, and he was sitting there fast forwarding through the movie, and then when they like had their boobies hanging out, he would stop. So I think I watched this movie like in fast forward for 90% of it.
At least he had his priorities straight.
He was kind of creepy, but
I was completely entertained by the movie because it's so shitty, but it's awesome. But speaking of a straight shitty one called Croc. Now this one's released with a bunch of other like monster movies. It's part of what they call the Man-Eater series. So this one had Michael Madsen in it, which Scott has a man crush on.
I have a man crush on him.
He was the one that was in Kill Bill, and you were like, I like that guy.
Oh yeah, he's awesome, man. I love that guy.
He'll do anything for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
And this movie's one of them. Literally, there's a scene where there's like a pool, and I think I don't think it's bloody yet, and the guy jumps in it, and the Croc's in there and eats him. I'm like, how do you not see a giant Croc laying in your pool?
It's like, what is that big huge thing? Is it a piece of tree, or is it an animal?
So that one was pretty bad. But there's 2, like, I don't really want to touch on them very long, but the ones that are considered more popular and people actually like are Rogue and Blackwater. I thought they were both okay. They didn't blow my mind or anything.
I think I saw Blackwater. You know what? I'm not going to watch another Croc horror movie unless the damn thing can actually smile and shake its head like it's laughing at you. So
That'll be the next Batman movie.
One's pretty much, I forget, I think it's Blackwater, where they pretty much just spend the whole time in a tree. It's more of the people fighting about how they're going to get away. Like, eventually someone just jumps in the water and I'm out of here, and then eats them. It's kind of more of a suspenseful type thing.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for Sam Jackson to be one of these Croc horror movies. He's already been ate by snakes and sharks and everything. It's time for a Croc to get a hold of him. Mm. So
I saw that shark one he was in. That was I think that was the last big huge animal movie I went and saw. Actually, was that one.
Before we get on to sharks, there's a couple more fantasy crocodile films I want to touch on.
Fantasy crocodile? What is that?
He means all the other ones we watched were real. So now we're going to get into the unbelievable stuff.
So Dino Croc.
Okay. That's the one. Is that the sci-fi one? Yeah.
Yep. And then there's the sequel, Supergator, unless it's reversed. I can't remember which one came first. I think Supergator's second, because they wanted to make Dino Croc 2. Sci-Fi didn't want to, so they just changed the color of it slightly and called it a Supergator, and they allowed it, and it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, before we started recording, that's the one I was trying to remember, Dino Croc versus Supergator. Then they came out when it was like Octopus versus Sharkman or something. Yeah.
And then, like you said, Dino Croc versus Supergator, which is like one of David Carradine's last movies.
Yeah.
Before they found him hanging in a closet. I didn't mean to laugh at that.
But. Deep in the Orient, yeah. Like so.
Jeez.
I'll laugh
That,
at it.
But that one's pretty bad. And then almost all the same film locations in Dino Shock vs. Supergator is where they filmed Piranhaconda, which I don't even want to talk about. It's so bad. It's a piranha and anaconda combined. Which just looks like a giant yellow snake, apparently. Yeah. And they actually said the name in the movie, which also has Michael Madsen in it.
Oh, nice.
Because he's like, it's piranha anaconda, and the girl's like, Piranhaconda, and the guy's like, I can't believe you said that. I'm like, I can't believe you said it either.
Sorry, I was just gonna say the images of these Dino Croc is just crazy, like crazy.
Fun fact: they used Jurassic Park dinosaur noises for them.
Oh. There's
a clip I saw online where there's, and I think the first one where the T-Rex is in the building and the banner's falling and it's screaming.
Right.
That's like its death noise in one of the movies.
See,
You're
right now,
speechless.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm on a whole other level right now because I've tried to watch these movies, and you actually made all the way, you actually watched them all the way through. I mean,
Well, of course. Now, I have not seen Mega Python versus Gatoroid, which I do own. I haven't seen it yet. And I also recorded Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. That one, I believe, has Urkel in it.
Of course it does.
I want to stop right here. I'm going to interview you for just a minute, Owen. Okay, what is it about these movies that what's the charm for you? How are they hooking you?
They're ridiculous.
Okay.
Like, a name alone will hook me. And I'm like, really? Someone made that? And then I have to watch it. I mean, we haven't even hit on Shark in Venice yet.
Yeah. I always wonder
if there was a movie called Spider Cat versus the Poopy Chicken, you'd be all over it.
It's kind of childish.
No, it isn't. It could be a horror movie.
Why is it Poopy Chicken? Why isn't it like a chicken tiger?
Chicken tiger. Poopy
yeah,
chicken. Poopy chicken. That's better.
I'm like, yeah, that's much more adult. We'll go with that. So, the chicken with teeth and stripes coming at you.
Chicken tiger.
All right, let's move on to sharks.
All right.
Jaws, blah, blah, blah. Such a great movie. Who gives a shit? Shark in Venice.
Shark in Venice.
It's a shark, and it's in the canals of Venice. And it's put there to guard a treasure. A treasure that people want. That's actually
Are these movies even real, Owen?
It's got Stephen Baldwin in it. Is that real enough for you?
Shark in Venice. Oh, yeah, there he is. I'm looking at it. Good Lord, man. Look at that poster.
They ripped off Jaws from the one I'm looking at.
That poster is actually like really cool looking, but I wouldn't have it on my my wall because it's pretty spooky. Shark.
So, mafia goons basically make Stephen Baldwin go after this treasure that's guarded by a shark.
Okay, wait a minute. They're in Italy and they pulled out the mafia? That's kind of... Okay, all right.
So where is the shark in the movie? Is he just like...
He swims the canals. They also have random scenes where he just eats random people for no reason. And it's ridiculous. It pops out of the water and like actually bends over and grabs someone on the thing. Like, bloop. Looked like Jabberjaw walking around.
Yeah, see, here's Jabberjaw. Thank you. You see, I would have this thing be a reincarnated person who came back as a shark because he's a jilted lover. He got his heart broken in Venice, and he just swims up and down trying to catch people, in those little boats with the guy with the stick pushing them. He just, he just wants to cock block everybody. If he ain't getting none, nobody's getting none. But so. Oh, a gondola. All right, thank you. I'm gonna write that down.
Gondola.
Wow. Shark in Venice.
If you want some really horrible ones.
Shark in Venus sounds even better.
You got Shark Attack, Shark Attack 2, Shark Attack 3. Forget which one it is. It's 2 or 3 where literally there's a line in the movie where basically they save the day. I think it's the third one, the Megalodon. They save the day and the guy goes to the girl, like, how about I take you home and eat your pussy?
Oh, wow.
Apparently it was a joke. The director had him say it to see how the actress would react. It's in the movie. It's literally it's just a shark, like stock footage of a shark, and then they have a boat that's really small and it spins down its throat like, ah! That's how all the shark attacks are.
Man, oh man.
Wow.
That's just craziness. So far out of all these movies, the only one that I'm going to watch is that first one with Bonaducci in it.
Do you want to hit on fantasy shark films?
Oh my god, there's fantasy ones?
We have
Potato Shark from Mars.
Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus with Lorenzo Lamas.
Okay.
Sharktopus.
Sharkopus.
Oh,
It's
man.
a shark, it's an octopus. It's a Sharktopus.
I think I've seen Sharktopus. Oh, my God. I'm so ashamed right now.
Two-headed shark attack. You got the sand shark. They live in the sand. And you have swamp shark.
Swamp Shark.
It's in a swamp, it's a shark. If you watch the trailer, there's a line. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but he's like, it's not a normal shark. It stalks and it eats on prey. And I think that's a normal shark.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Land Shark, the movie now. So, yeah.
Well, you got sand sharks not good enough?
I'm sitting here listening to all these movies and looking at them, and I've seen some of them. Sharktopus or whatever it was. I saw that one. That one actually kind of hooked me for a minute. And I'm just kind of wondering how they haven't made a Commandy movie now. So,
Yeah, no damn doubt. I played a role playing game called Gamma World, and there was sand sharks in that. It was pretty cool.
Do you remember who starred in Sharktopus?
Oh,
Billy
No.
Idol.
Eric Roberts.
Oh yeah, that's probably what he.
This was also produced by Roger Corman, so...
that's what hooked me. I was waiting on Eric Roberts to cry like he does in every other damn movie he's in. So,
Yeah. I got bit.
Looks like it has porcupine quills sticking out of its side.
Oh, no, I take it back. I didn't watch this movie. I don't know what I watched. I just saw a picture of the Sharktopus. This actually looks pretty cool.
A lot of people seem to like it. I haven't seen it yet. But that's where the Piranaconda came from. They're like, hey, this one was popular on Sci-Fi. Let's make Piranaconda. The only thing good about Piranaconda is at the end it has like a cheesy ending where like they were on a date and then everything went wrong, and then at the end they're like, how about a second date? And then the snake just eats them, and then the credits roll. So everyone dies in it.
Nice. Whatever happened to the good old monster movies like Critters and remember Critters?
Anaconda 1 through 4.
Anaconda made me mad. The first one, we got to see the Anaconda. They make the second movie called Anacondas, like plural, and you barely see any. You kind of think going into that movie you would see more,
And then the third one had David Hasselhoff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think that's all we need to hear on that one. No.
It was awful. It was so bad. Like almost all of the snakes look the same CGI.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about like giant animals and stuff, we got movies like Them and all those spider movies from the 70s where the spiders invade the towns and arachnophobia. And, you were talking about like Critters and stuff. When Gremlins hit, that's where all that stuff came from. Everybody had their little monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that was some good stuff. You look at it. Sam Elliott was in a movie called Frogs. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Yeah, that was a genuinely freaky movie.
That movie sucked. I have a shirt though.
It was spooky.
You think so? Seriously?
Yeah, some of it was. Just I got a thing about frogs that I don't like them, so it just kind of wigged me out.
Okay, all right.
Were you as confused as me as in the alligator scene?
I was confused through the whole freaking movie just about, and I can follow some stuff. But that movie, it's charming in its own way. It's more of a gross out movie than like making you feel like you're scared. I don't know.
There's a scene with an alligator, and the guy jumps on it and starts spinning around, right? So I think he jumped on this gator and he's kicking the shit out of it. But no, apparently the gator killed him. And you can clearly see the tape on the gator's mouth because it was a real gator. So he literally jumps on it and then makes it do the death roll, and then he just lays there like, ugh. So I was very
Well, what I think they do, they kind of make that stuff up as they go along. So they just told him to go out there and do it, and they didn't tell him he was supposed to die. Or the actor was like, knew he was in crap and wanted to like stand out in the movie, so he tried not to go out like a bitch.
Did you guys see Squirm?
Was that like the red little slug things that attacked the girl in the tub?
It's a movie about worms, killer worms.
Yeah.
That started going nuts because I guess it was like electricity or something did something to them. That was another movie that was like, I don't like worms either, so that bothered me.
Oh yeah. That was bad. It had oh my God, they like crawled under your skin and would hang off your flesh or something.
Yeah.
You walk by like a random pit out in the woods and it's full of worms. Yeah. That was gross. Yeah, that's all that slime. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. People running around with like worm beards and stuff. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Worm beard. Nice.
I swear, I think they made a video game of that. I'm not joking, man. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. They had a video game called Squirm. I'm telling you.
Now I kind of want to get that because it would scare me so bad to play it.
Shit, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining it, but I know there was a video game called Squirm. I know it.
Well, there's a video called Worms. That's more cutesy. You shoot rockets at each other.
Nope, I found it. It looks like it's a Pac-Man ripoff. I knew it was real. Okay, I'm satisfied. Yeah.
The actual, what do you call it? Poster for the movie. The artwork is like amazing, but it is like just says this was the night of the crawling terror, and then it's got a skull with all these worms and stuff. It's just crazy. They had different. There was a poster that had like a chick in the shower, and they were coming out the shower head, and then there was another one where a guy's head was on the ground, like, and he was like up to his neck in worms. Oh yeah. Now I'm seeing some images and it's wigging me right out again.
What about Carney?
Wait, I think that was yeah. I worked at that video store too long. So.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Nah, I didn't see this one. I've had a chance to rent it. No, wait a minute, that's the one with Jodie Foster. Wait a minute. I saw the one with Jodie Foster. She was another whore in it. Oh, excuse me. Since she was 13. But anyway, moving on. But
and look where it got her.
Carney's basically Lou Diamond Phillips versus the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil? I gotta see this.
Oh, I like the poster for it. It's kind of cool.
It's this Carney guy basically buys this thing and he's gonna go around, as a sideshow, and it escapes. And then he kind of doesn't tell people. It's like, I don't know what happened to these people, and he's trying to catch it. Speaking of Lou Diamond Phillips, I think he's in a movie about bats too.
There's a thing here that says this is the worst thing you'll see all week, and it's got a picture of the monster from Carney. It looks like a rat with friggin' bat wings.
It actually wasn't bad.
I found it. Yeah, I found that picture. That's funny.
Oh, that's sweet. This is the worst thing you'll see all week.
He's in a bat movie too. I know he is.
Yeah, I think it was called Bats.
Yeah, Bats. You're right. I remember that.
I tell you what, guys, I'm going to whip out the Toxic Avenger here in a minute. Is the way we're going.
That doesn't count.
Tromaville. Yeah.
Here's a newer one for you. Troll Hunter.
I own that movie, believe it or not. I bought it on a whim, and weird, man.
I loved it. It's that freaking Swedish movie or something?
Yeah.
Or those movies coming out of Sweden are freaking awesome, man. I could not believe Troll Hunter was like, I was like, they're really doing this. You know what I mean? And there's like a real story behind it. And I'm like, it was so surreal because I'm like, man, those, they're explaining how the trolls look so stupid. It's got 3 heads. Well, 2 are for mating. It attracts females. And I'm like, I'll be damned. It's, it's all so clear. I'm like, the damn thing had rabies of all things. Oh yeah, I like Troll. Good. Who called that one out, man? Well played. Who said that? Owen. All right. Thank God. Yeah.
I gotta tell you though, man, the troll that was on that bridge, when he grabbed that guy and slammed him around, I laughed so hard I thought it was gonna pee blood.
That was pretty bad CGI.
Oh man.
Oh, I loved it. Oh my God.
That was funny, man. Funny.
When they had that clip at the end of the movie where it was like, I don't know what he was, like the president of Sweden, whatever his title is or something. He's doing a press conference, and he's like, well, of course we got to get the power fixed and all this stuff. We got trolls. And that guy was like, shh, be quiet. I'm like, is that real? Yeah, that movie almost made me a believer, man. I mean, if I was 12 years old and you showed me that, I'd been like, oh no. You know?
I'm moving to Sweden right now.
They got trolls. Oh my God. Yeah. I got that. A good. I'll defend that movie. That's good. Now, see, that's a bad movie. That's good. You know, That's awesome. I love you. You're kind of like our Swedish superhero. You know, I got to recharge my batteries. Get out.
I love that they could smell like the blood of a Christian, which I thought was so kind of cool. You know,
oh,
it just like they had a little bit of mythology in there, and all of a sudden, nobody's like, I believe.
Well, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us? Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think he wasn't a real Christian. He'd been like trying to make, everybody else a believer that was in this little group, But
Hey-o.
No, that's a compliment, yeah. But I just couldn't. That movie was just, oh man, the way they CGI'd those trolls and stuff, they went right back like those little silly pictures you saw in those little kid books and stuff when you were a kid. And yeah.
Here's another one that I thoroughly enjoyed and suggest to everyone: The Host.
Is that the Korean movie with the fish was evolved, I guess, or whatever it was? Let me think.
Yeah, it's Asian.
Yeah. The Host is an awesome movie. Go buy it. I mean, that movie is just awesome.
Oh yeah,
man.
I actually did see that.
Yeah. I was watching this movie and The Mist back to back, and I didn't know which one to go back to. I was like, oh god, this was so good.
Then you find out. Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. But the host, it ended up being like a trout that had evolved or something, grew legs, and it just creeped me out how like it could eat you and it would store you in its belly and just regurgitate you for later, while you're still alive. When that thing came out of the water and was running after that girl and she was just standing there getting up, I had so much anxiety. I was like, run, bitch, run. Oh, God. I was like, oh, it's going to get her. Oh my God. Yeah. Run for your life. Oh, it got her. Oh. And the thing was sleeping, and I was like, I can't believe this. This movie's hooked me. I was like, I just went with it. Yeah.
Now you just said The Mist. What'd you think about that movie?
I freaking love The Mist. I loved it. I had it on. I got to buy it again, but it was meant to be in black and white. It was supposed to feel like an old drive-in horror movie, with those creatures and stuff. And it was like, I'm not even a Stephen King guy, and I love that movie. The Mist was just so well done, man. Who was the guy that was in it?
I don't remember.
It had like a 50s sci-fi feel, but it was like updated, and the freaking monsters were incredible in it. They were like right out of the H.P. Lovecraft, Cthulhu and stuff. I mean,
well, that is my favorite Stephen King short story of all time is The Mist. And then when I saw they made it into a movie, I was so excited. It was okay, but the ending was so depressing. I mean, he shot everybody in the damn truck.
Oh, yeah. That's why I wanted to see it. I like those little twist endings, man. They're like old EC horror comics and Twilight Zone endings in my mind. I didn't see it. Everybody else was mad, man, around here. Went and saw the movie. When he shot his kid and stuff, man, the women that went and saw that movie were so damn mad. I mean, they were like, go to hell, Stephen King. I mean, they were just,
Yeah. But it was neat. I loved that story, though. The story was so cool.
What I liked about it is that it talked to all good horror movies, The Host, Jaws, and all this stuff. It's really about like they make comments about society. And we went back to freaking cavemen in that movie in less than 10 hours. We were cavemen. When they came out of the grocery store and they were going next door to the pharmacy, all I saw was a bunch of cavemen come out of a cave trying to hide from the saber tooth,
Yeah, right. Because those spider things were just like, that was just like, I'd never leave a store, man. If I saw that, it'd be like, I'll stay in here till I die. Oh,
the spiders didn't get me till they had human teeth. I don't know why that's why it got me. Okay. They got human teeth. Oh God. Oh, that's what got me. Not the acid spider webs and not they'll plant their babies in you.
They ate teeth. Somebody with dentures.
Yeah. Oh, it just creeped me out. I was like, And not a lot of movies get me like that, man. But you get a smiling spider and I'm done.
Yeah. No kidding. Oh man.
All right, what else is on your list there, Owen?
The Blob.
Yes, I wanted to talk about The Blob. Yeah.
Oh, well done.
That's the one I was going to bring up, the Steve McQueen and the 80s one. They were both good. Yeah. Don't walk, run. Yeah.
Very first Steve McQueen movie that he was ever in, which is very cool.
Yeah, he was even cool in that one, man. I mean, just that whole Blob thing was just... Yeah. I would have loved to see that one in a drive-in. That's a drive-in movie to me. You know, that's the one, you know.
My mother-in-law tells me great stories about seeing that at the drive-in, and her and I have similar taste in movies, and she said that movie was just amazing at the drive-in.
Well, you know what? The Blob looked like a toy, man. I had that slime in the little jar that came out in the 70s with worms in it and
worms
stuff.
In it, yeah. Yeah, it was in a big garbage pail thing, yeah.
Yeah, I would make my friends mad because they'd have like these little Fisher-Price or Hot Wheel play sets, and I would take my slime and push it in there and make it come out of the windows and say, it's the Blob, like from the movie. They'd just look at me, like, you little pecker, excuse my French. Yeah, I mean, I got called some names. I'm like, didn't you see the movie? In my mind, everybody saw the Blob and knew what it was, you know. So. Now, did you see the 80s one where they kind of updated it a little bit and stuff?
That's the only one I've seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
That it's really gory.
It's a freaking work of art with what they did. It was one of the few things where like they did a remake and it didn't make you mad. They actually improved it, I think. I mean, it was no Steve McQueen, but it was more about the Blob. And they have a big twist ending that made the 50s movie make sense all of a sudden.
I'd like to check that out because I'm seeing some of the pictures, and it looks like really amazing.
Yeah, it grabbed me because one guy like was looking at it. The green blob was going by, and he was looking at it, and the damn thing stuck some piece of it out and grabbed him by the face. Oh. You know, it's like it could extend itself like it had arms, but it was still blob. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now,
yeah.
While we're on the subject of blobs and stuff, there was a movie in the 80s called The Stuff. Did anybody see that?
I've been watching it on Netflix. I'm about 3/4 of the way in there, man. That is messed up. That legitimately grosses me out. You know?
It's like a yogurt kind of a monster. It's freaking. It makes you eat it, and then it just like eats you from the inside out. It is a viciously wicked movie.
Yeah, and like first off, thing it's bubbling out of the ground, and some guy sticks his finger in it and eats it, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, you know? Who the hell does that? Who does that? I've never eaten nothing off the damn ground in my life.
Yeah, and it's all about us. It's got that social commentary in it. What it's saying is that we're marketed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, marketing and advertisement, and we're slaves to whatever. You know, I'm missing the point here. I'm going blank, but yeah, and it's got the grossest old man in it too. You know, so. That's what you need in those horror movies is those guys with those gross old men that got character in them and those women that look nuts and stuff. And you find out they really are nuts in real life, you know. Cannot believe the stuff came up. Good God.
What about Ernest Scared Stupid? Does that count?
Yeah. If I can bring up Abbott Costello meet Frankenstein, yeah, that can count. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
There's a troll in Ernest.
What was the movie you brought up? Say it again. Ernest? Yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid. That scared me when I was younger. I couldn't watch that. It was like the one Ernest movie I couldn't watch.
Yeah. I haven't watched that in forever. Those are Ernest movies. Ernest, that guy played Ernest. He had an 80s movie where, well, it's a bit sci-fi, but he had a hand on top of his head, and he played this villain, and Ernest popped up in it. And
right. I remember that.
That's getting that whole movie's on YouTube, but that's getting off track. Seems like he called back to some of his movies in that. I don't think it was any horror stuff in those. So
here's a couple for you to check out if you haven't seen them. The Feast series, Feast 2, and Feast 3.
Yeah, it had that dude from a Black Flag in it. Oh God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Henry Rollins.
Yeah, it had Henry Rollins in it. Henry Rollins like ruled in that movie for how long he was in it. I thought, yeah.
They go downhill after one, but like I think it's the second one where he actually throws a baby to the monster so he can escape. And everyone talks about that scene.
Yeah. Now the Feast, to me, some of those shots reminded me of the Evil Dead. In some parts, I think, if I'm remembering right.
The first one was part of a contest. It was like a TV contest.
Yeah.
If you won, you got money to make your movie.
Yeah. The feast was well done, man. I mean, it is what it is, but it was well done to be what it is. Yeah. So.
Did you guys see that H.P. Lovecraft movie From Beyond?
No.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised that you haven't seen that, Tim.
No, let me look it up.
Just one of those, you're watching it, and, you know, there's some monsters in it, because it's like a supernaturally kind of a thing. There's a couple of parts in it that you're just like, okay, this, you know, the images of this is going to bother me for like a really, really long time.
I've never even heard of this movie, now I'm looking it up. This looks evil, yeah.
Yeah, From Beyond.
Looks like the same people did the sci-fi effects for Howard the Duck.
It's just about somebody who has made like a machine that can look into like another dimension or something like that, but these things start coming through and it starts to change a couple of the people, and it's just, ugh. I mean, there's no escape, you know, like how H.P. Lovecraft, all his writing is like, you know, something's got through and, you know, it doesn't matter what you do, it's just going to destroy the earth kind of thing, and everything's going to eat you, kind of one of those kind of movies. Like, it's horrendous.
I've got the same problem a lot of people have with H.P. Lovecraft's writing, is where, you know, the guy who's narrating the story, he keeps writing. Oh my God, somebody's coming up the steps. He keeps writing. Oh my God, they're banging on the door. They busted through the door. I'm like, run, stop writing. You know, I'm like, you know, just...
yeah. If you had stopped writing 10 minutes ago, you could have got away.
Yeah. I had people convinced Cthulhu was real, because about the time I started like messing with him, telling him it was real, he popped up on like South Park and a Scooby-Doo cartoon. I'm like, I told you, you know.
Have you seen Maneater?
Maneater.
Gary Busey.
Owen keeps bringing us back to these. Like...
Enough time about good movies. Let's talk about Arachnoquake.
Arachnoquake.
They're doing some fracking, if you know what that means. Cause an earthquake, and spiders come out, and they shoot fire out of their mouths.
Dean Cain, Maneater. The beast will feast. Oh my gosh.
Dean Cain?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of Maneater movies, man. I got all kinds of stuff to come up here. There's
Gary
even one with
Busey, it's about a tiger.
Oh, that must be a different one then.
I got the Dean Cain. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm getting like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got Lou Diamond Phillips came up on it. That's helpful.
I got Hall and Oates came up too.
Oh, I got Angelina Jolie come up. Surprise. But
she's a man-eater. I love that song.
I don't care how cheap the movie's made. Oh, I found the tiger one. Yeah. If you're going to make a man-eater movie, you better have like Hall & Oates do a cameo.
Oh my God, man. Go down. Oh, you're not going to believe this. Go down 1, 2, 4 rows, far left, man-eater. When you open up that picture, it looks like art from The Watchmen, the pirate. It's exactly what I thought of when I saw it. The pirate story.
What did you type in? Just man-eater?
Yeah. It's like der Menschenfressen or something. I don't know. It's German.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to talk about Arachnoquake. Because I need to shit on this movie. So stars Tracy Gold. I don't know if you recognize that name.
Yeah. Isn't that the chick that was on that... Oh, man. She was on that syndicated show when I went...
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains. That's Kirk Cameron. Yeah. She was the anorexic.
Bug Hall. You might remember him. Maybe not.
Yeah, Bug. Yeah.
And also has Edward Furlong. You might remember from
Terminator 2. Yeah. Alfalfa. Bug was Alfalfa.
Oh, yeah, that was him. So, Tracy Gold and Edward Furlong are apparently married. I don't know if they're divorced. I didn't really pay that much attention to the movie. They have a daughter, which seems really weird because they don't seem that old in the movie. And spiders come out, they breathe fire, blah, blah, blah. There's people killing each other. But the end is what I want to talk about. So, Tracy Gold dies. Fucking asthma attack or some shit. The daughter meets up with the dad, and he's like, "Where's your mom?" He's like, "She's dead." And then dad's like, "Huh?" And then just cut to another scene. Like he didn't give a shit. That's why I assumed they were divorced. So now there's a giant spider.
Owen, you were so jaded.
There's a humongous spider, right? Climbs up the building, making a web, whatever. So Bug Hog dresses up in like it almost looks like old diving suit, but it's like newer modern stuff. It has the helmet and stuff. And he decides that he needs to go inside the spider to put like a piece of dynamite inside of its stink sack, as they call it, which has the fuel for its flamethrowers. So he climbs up there and teases the spider, and the spider swallows him whole, which spiders don't do that, but it did it. He then puts the shit in, jumps out. He's hanging off a piece of like copper wire, talking shit to the spider, and then touches a battery to it, which goes up and makes it explode. All the other spiders, smaller ones, just die, because the main one's dead. They just drop dead.
Oh, that sounds like one of the goofiest movies ever.
And then at the end, they're like, "Oh man, he was a good man," because they think, Bug Hall died, and then he stands up, like, "Little help get down from up here," and they're like, "Woo!" It's like, he's on a green screen, and it's just a bad CGI building put behind him.
Man.
It's atrocious.
I got the greatest spider fight ever in a movie to bring up. Whenever you're done, Owen. So
go ahead. I'm done with that puke fest.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if you ever seen the 50s movie, The Incredible Shrinking Man?
Yep.
Yeah. He basically, this guy's just shrinking, and the movie's actually well done. The guy's just shrinking. He's living in the dollhouse, and his girlfriend leaves him. And to run from the cat, he goes down in the basement. He ends up in the basement somehow. So he gets up, and he's looking around the basement. And they just don't have, like, normal spiders that make webs. It's a tarantula. And he picks up a nail, and it's him fighting a tarantula. And I'm like, this is epic, I'm like, get him,
Yeah, I remember that was a good scene. Really good. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was laughing like, they got tarantulas living in all the basements of America. That's pretty cool. Wrong type of spider, yeah.
Maybe it took place in Haiti.
You never know. Yeah. Oh, anybody like Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Oh, I love that movie. I got all those Universal ones when they put them out in those big box sets.
Yeah. That movie was supposed to be a B movie, throwaway movie. Like, it wasn't even supposed to be a real film. And when people started going to the drive-in to see it, they were coming to see the Creature and then leaving for the main feature. They wouldn't watch the big, high-budget movie back then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what got me about that movie. That was an accident,
One of the things I liked about that movie was the guy who was doing the stunts in it, all the underwater stunts. He asked if he could actually play the Creature because he was going to be fully, encased in the monster outfit and stuff. And the director said, "You know what? Sure, why not?" So that was the very first. He'd always done like underwater stunt stuff up until that point, and then that was his first actual role. So he was really happy about that.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Mm. Yeah, and that chick in it, Jane Addams, she's still alive. That's what blows my mind. That movie's like 70 years old by now.
Yeah, I know.
60 years old. It's got to be creeping up on 70. She's still kicking, man, and still making appearances from that movie. I got a Rolling Stone cover with the chick from X-Files on it with the Creature from the Black Lagoon on it and stuff. That's like one of my prized possessions. Anything with the Gill Man in it just is solid,
Oh, yeah.
That's why I bought
Monster
Monsters. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Monster Squad. Yeah. I have it because it's got them all in there.
That's an awesome movie.
Yeah, that's kind of like, that's like the step, that's like the redheaded stepchild of the Goonies. It doesn't get all the respect, Everybody loves Monster Squad if they watch it, Yeah, and in Monster Squad, when the Gill Man they had in there was fighting, they had to choreograph all that stuff perfectly because the guy could not see out of the costume. They're doing all that by like timing where they rehearse so much and stuff. Yeah, he couldn't see. Yeah, they made the costume where he couldn't see out of it or something. Yeah.
Speaking of that movie, the guy who played Frankenstein, I cannot remember his name, I think it was Fred Decker. anyways, he's going to be at our Toronto Comic-Con in August. So, yeah, I'm really excited about seeing him.
Oh, man. You want to get him to... You have the movie for him to autograph?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the slipcase down and see if he'll autograph it. Because, like, seriously, that's so awesome, you know? Like, the guy who played the vampire, the Dracula guy, I think he was German, Karl Thibault or something. I can't remember how you pronounce his last name, but he said that is the only movie that he ever did like that. Like, he's kind of a classical actor, and that's the only movie he said that he ever did like that. He absolutely loved it.
That movie, that actually, to me, has the purest form of all those characters for what they are. You know, going back to the Universal thing. I mean, you know, it's a fun little silly movie, you know, but they really, you know, did a lot of respect for those Universal monsters, you know.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't screw them up. And they actually kind of, I don't know. The creature of the Black Lagoon, to me, you know, he's supposed to look like a fish. They made him look like a piranha. And that's about the, you know, they probably had to do that so they didn't get sued, you know. So,
yeah, because they all had, like, a little, I mean, they were all a little bit different from the Universal monsters, but just, you know, just enough to kind of keep it a little, I don't know, off of the radar, I think, of getting nailed. But
good movie. It was like poor man's Ghostbusters. You know, meets Goonies and Stand By Me, and yeah.
So you have any closing thoughts? Besides that, we probably missed 1 billion monster movies.
We only touched upon a few, really.
And my fetish for crocodile movies.
Yeah. I think this will go down as Owen's fetish episode.
Well, guys, thanks for having me on Chickenstein. This was fun, so I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being on. I don't think I have any other closing things other than to say, make sure you go to your Big Lots and buy every $2 horror movie that you see.
They're $3.
Oh, sorry, $3. My God, really that much, eh?
$3 to $5, depending.
$1.88. They're $1.88 on Black Friday. So, you know, if you buy them and don't like them, send them to Owen Neal. You know, so.
For some reason, my store stopped carrying the Blu-rays, the $8 Blu-rays.
Oh yeah, ours doesn't have any Blu-rays at all in it.
Bastards.
Yeah, that's what I say every time I go in. I scream that. Bastard!
Where's my Blu-rays? Tune in next time. Or I'll kill you.